All right. All right. All right. Welcome. Welcome back to episode número tres, Linked, an intergenerational conversation today on the body. You think? Or, well, I mean, we'll see. We're always in the flow, but
We'll see.
we ended last time, I think, with a really important point, which I just want to reiterate, and that is agree to disagree. So that was on my mind, and I think also another thing that was on my mind was just thinking about how our perspectives are different and why, and how the relationship to that and our physical bodies, just in connection to what we were talking about. But how are you doing? What's been coming up for you?
Good. I still believe the same. I still believe that we have to listen to our minds, to our hearts, and to our bodies. So it's up to us whether we start with the mind, the body, or the heart. We still need to learn to listen to, because it's not just about knowledge. I mean, knowledge is important, but knowledge can just be just that, knowledge. I mean, it's just a philosophy. You know what I mean? Like a question, an answer, and a question to the answer, and then another question, and it's the never-ending questions. That's philosophy. Thank God for philosophy.
Oh well, that's I love to do it. I yeah, it's fun, and I think questions asking. I love to ask questions personally, and especially I always like to think, what question should I not be asking? Is a bad habit of mine, but also it leads me to different places, and I think it's a part of what makes me who I am. Is that I asking questions. A lot of people, I don't know. Sometimes people do, sometimes people don't.
Well, it's like a secret. Someone that is always seeking something doesn't mean that person knows what he's after, if he's going to find it, or if he's not. It's just that's all there is. See, nomás el buscador.
Say it
So,
again.
el que busca nada más, busca, no sabe
El
si
que
va a
busca.
encontrar, no sabe si va a encontrar lo que busca, a veces ni sabe lo que busca.
That's a beautiful word, busca. I
Sí.
bet you could break that down. One of the things it reminds me of is bosque, right? The wilderness.
Buscar. That's what life is.
The state of consciousness.
We're always seeking. Even when we're not, we still are.
Yeah. I think that for me, that's where one of the practice, or not one, but the practice of meditation helps me, because I can feel like I'm always seeking more, and I like to make it fun, right, as well. But also, I do believe in nirvana, right? I believe in enlightenment.
It's all the
And
same. It's just different names for different philosophies or different isms or thoughts. It's the same. You can call it nirvana. You can call it revelation. You can call it there are. It's all the same. What is the other one I was thinking?
enlightenment, reborn. No, not reborn.
Yeah,
Maybe actually.
there's another word for nirvana too, but anyway, it's just
Like ecstasy.
it could be.
That's in the body now. We're getting back to the body.
I remember in one of the Simpsons when the Homer, he had not the Nirvana, but it's a different name. I'm trying to think what name was it, the name of it.
Mm.
You know, for every, see, for every group or for every, I call it isms, because ism means, you know, thoughts. That's why it's called Hinduism, you know, Muslimism, Christianism, and Catholicism, whatever. It's all isms like that.
Catholicism, I guess.
It's thoughts. That's what it means. It's like communism, whatever ism is that ISM.
Uh-huh.
That's what it is.
Well, even like racism, right? That was something we were talking a
It's
lot
just the
about
thought
last time.
again. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just the thought as well. You know, because it's just uh, it's just, that's all it is. It's different name, different same thing, same thing.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, a white person will be white, and a black will be black, and a brown will be brown, and a yellow will be yellow. And no matter what we do or how much we think we're together, again, going back, if we're not linked, I mean, moving towards the purpose of being alive, enjoying life. You know what I mean? It's the same. Doesn't matter. Because at the end,
Yeah.
if someone has the power, it doesn't matter what color it is. Power has greater probabilities to create uh, dysfunction.
Yeah.
It's
And
harder. It's hard to manage power. You know what I mean?
yes.
No
Yeah.
matter who has it.
Well, and that's where I think I want to talk about some worldview differences, and that depending on the worldview in which you view power, and specifically things like abundance or scarcity, right? And so I learned about this in terms of European worldviews, and that's where I think it's okay to be conscious, or it's good to be both conscious of these things and to be universal and to be completely unique. Because for Europeans, they were growing up, they were developing in the northern hemisphere, which is cooler, and especially the higher you go, right, to the North Pole. And so they were growing up in climates that were more scarce. And so their experience, their worldview became that of scarcity. While people that are below the equator tend to have more of a worldview that comes with abundance because of the climate, which actually allowed for an abundance of food at all seasons, in comparison to people who live up north who only had access to food in, you know, really summer, harvest, fall, and then winters were rough, springs, you know, got better. But they had this worldview, and that created a way of thinking which was binary. And so when we think of power from this worldview, number one, we're thinking about it in a scarcity mindset, and we can make a shift to an abundant mindset, right? Which is a part of becoming conscious. And then the other part is, I forgot, but you got what I mean.
I talked to you about that before, about the northern and the southern part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people in the northern part, they got answers, or they want answers. And people in the southern, they have questions and they don't have the answers. I mean, that's why
Or
they
it's not
told
that
us
they don't have the answers, it's that they don't care for the answers as much.
it could be either or, but again, it's just that we can go semantic one way or the other, and we can argue and don't accomplish much. But the thing is the same. That's the thing when people travel. When you travel and you go to the northern and you go to the southern and you go to the real north, and then you go to ways out, you see the difference. See,
So that brings me back in terms of power,
and it's
right?
not
And
just Europe.
binary thinking.
It's everywhere.
And
It's
it's
global.
it's global, and if you look at the globe, you know.
Even on the globe, if you study the globe, you find out whoever put the equator, they put it the way they want it. It's not really necessarily the way it is, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, no, it's not there. I don't believe the maps because they make Mexico smaller and they make Africa smaller,
Anyway,
and they make Greenland like literally almost like 100 times bigger. Greenland is not that big. No offense to the
well,
Greenlanders out
again,
there.
we're just who we are. We're just a person,
No,
individuals.
but I do want to bring it back because I know I know what I was saying, and that's when you look at power in that way, then you get the narrative that you're talking about, which is we have to be afraid of one group having it. The reality is one group has it, and we need to make the shift from power being this binary scarce thing to power being something that we can share and that it's in abundance. You see the
Again,
shift there? But I don't know. That's just what I want to make it clear so that you can respond to that.
I understand and I'm for it, but again, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Because see, it's one thing when you don't have it, and it's another thing when you have it. See, maybe you as being unique, but not everyone is you.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trust me, it's not the same being on this side of the border and then being on the other side of the border. It's like people on the metro. People outside the metro, they're ready to jump into the metro. And the people inside the metro, they're ready to jump out of the metro. You know what I mean? So power, no matter how you put it,
Mm-hmm.
it could just be any type of power. Power doesn't mean it's going to change the person, but the probabilities are higher. Because when you feel secure, it's like when you have money in your pocket, you feel more secure than when you don't. It's just an example. You know what I mean?
It is an example, and it's something that makes sense. And I don't remember where this is coming from specifically, but at what point do we become awakened to the fact that then what are we slaves to? I guess like in terms of so we're gonna do that, act that way because of money, which
You
we
know,
do,
you know
but I
what
think
are
it's
we
what.
slaves of? Ourselves. You know what I mean? You know that I'm not what I think. I'm not what I feel. You know what I mean? I'm not even what I experience. But
I'm
we
at
are
best having
slaves.
the
But
experience.
we are slaves to our thoughts, to our feelings, and to our experiences.
Actually, yeah, I was writing about this, and I write about it, but instead of that language, I use the language of agreements. And what are all the agreements that we make too that when it comes time for those agreements to die, you know,
Oh,
how do we do that? Because it's only through death that we can experience life, right? That's like the greatest lesson that I think all the messiahs bring, and you see that in Christianity as well, that you have to go to the cross, you have to die so that you can experience life. And that's what Christians experience as being reborn.
yeah, we have to go through the other side of the cross. It's one thing to see Christ in the cross. Another thing is go with Christ to the cross, and then the other thing is go on the other side of the cross. And then when after life, it's gonna really gonna be like the real life. But while we're here, we can choose to see Christ at the cross. We can go with Christ to the cross, or we can go above the cross to the other side. Like I said, and there are different. There's a
That's like
different.
nirvana, right? That's
It's
like for
like
the Christ
Nirvana, and
consciousness.
I'm thinking about the other name. I don't
Christ
really.
consciousness. That one's
I think
big.
it's. I hope that with this video, what we can accomplish is whoever watch it and listen to it, find what they're looking for, what they're seeking. Because like everything is not for everybody. See, when we use words like everybody, uh, everything, never, always, and all those those are just words. It's not like that. That's not life.
It's fantastical.
So that's my feeling with this video today.
Well, in that sense, maybe it would be cool to like offer up a prayer, you know? I don't know if that's something you want to do. That's a
Well, we just pray and believe that we are here uh, uh, with an appointment, and whoever listen will be uh, enlightened. That's my prayer.
and and my prayer for whoever is listening is a number one, a prayer of gratitude for your attention, and I receive it, and that I hope that you see what I'm giving as well, and what I'm giving is an authentic way of expressing and being in the world, and also what it looks like to be in a real life um, linked up relationship. For me, that's what my art is about: is giving people some real life and hopefully some wisdom that you can mirror when you need it. Remember the words I say. Remember the words Esteban says when you need it.
Yep. Remember, you cannot have wisdom unless you empty yourself. We're full of too much that wisdom cannot flow. In order for the wisdom to flow, is we need to empty ourselves. So
And I know I can, you know, in my writings, in terms of what are we slaves to, and thinking about agreements and thinking about wisdom and letting go and death, it's I had to think about a lot of the agreements that I had made with you, you know, and with mom and with Stephanie and with everybody in my life. And I had to examine those agreements, and those agreements had to die. And it was hard, but I had to make the conscious decision to go, like you said, to the cross and to get up there and to die and to come out the other side. And one of the beautiful things about it is it's hard. It's hard. It's very hard. But when you come out the other side, you realize this very important thing, that you're still alive. And if you're not, then you don't realize that because you're gone. But you do. I love that our relationship had to change when I was like, what are our agreements? Our agreements. I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna be like a good, ethical, Christian, moral man, right? That's what I agreed to do with you all, and you all would be like, yes, that's our offspring. You know, we agreed that that's what makes our relationship flow. And when I came to consciousness or a shift around my spirituality and then my gender expression, those agreements had to die, and we had to go through a metamorphosis that we're still going through around our agreements and what that new agreement is. And I'm grateful that we're still connected and that we get to make art like this, and get to still engage in incredible conversations, even though we're in different places, not just generationally, but sometimes spiritually, sometimes with gender and other things.
social,
Social, yeah.
it's we're always agreeing all the time. Sometimes unconscious, other conscious, and not all agrees are good, not all are bad. But if we're aware, doesn't matter if it's good or bad, a day has only 24 hours. And we go to sleep, whatever time it is. And we wake up the next day and we agree again that we are alive. And we agree whatever we're doing that day. And like I say, some agreements, uh, they were even done before us.
Yeah, I believe that.
You know, it's just like I said, DNA to me is, again, energy, information, and vibration. So sometimes we understand energy and vibrations, but sometimes with the information is what we struggle with because we think that information is just the knowledge. See, that information is more than just the knowledge. It's take away the in and leave the formation. You know, just
A ver,
la
¿cómo?
información es solo
Ajá,
conocimiento, pero la
okay.
formación es una manera de vivir. ¿Sí? Por eso, como dicen, uno puede enseñar lo que uno sabe, pero uno solo puede reproducir lo que uno es. Si tú me preguntas a mí, el mayor problema que existe después de la inconsciencia, the greatest problem there is unconscious. The second one, I would say, que we're not beings. Nosotros no sabemos ser.
Mm-hmm.
Nosotros sabemos qué hacemos, sabemos quiénes, qué tenemos, sabemos muchas cosas, pero no sabemos quiénes nosotros realmente somos.
Yeah. Can you give me some? Is my water empty? Okay. I'm gonna take my lemon shot.
Entonces, la primera cosa es la falta de conciencia y eso nos lleva a la segunda, no saber quiénes nosotros realmente somos. ¿Sí?
Yeah.
O sea, as I always say, we know we're humans, but we don't know we're beings. We're human beings. Sabemos que somos humanos, pero se nos olvida que somos seres. ¿Sí?
Yeah.
¿Quién soy? La pregunta filosófica más discutida.
Well, and see, this is also again where what is the root of Western philosophy? Right?
Again,
You
yeah.
already know. Say it, but you have to say it.
No. I agree with you.
I think, therefore I am.
Yeah, I can't, but that's not just can't. Trust me, we can go to other psychologists and philosophers and scientifics. I don't remember the name right now, the one that says, I feel, therefore I am. And there's
Mm-hmm.
another one that says, I experience, therefore I am, but it's still limited. No matter if it's can with I think and then therefore I am, or I feel, therefore I am, is the same. We are limiting ourselves to a jaula. How do you say jaula?
To a frame, to a cage. Yes.
To a cage.
And so that's where, right, you have to, then for some of us, I guess, some people, I don't know, maybe, we get to experience the fullness then, which is what? I am, right? That's it.
See, like, again, when we stigmatize, and it's not that it's true or it's not true. Of course, yes, the Western is not the same as the Eastern. You know, el Occidente no es lo mismo que el Este. Pero no todos, yeah. It's like in the nation of Israel. Not all the Israelites are Israelites. ¿sí? Entonces ahí es donde yo me quiero enfocar, Isaac. Ahí es donde yo quiero enfocarme. Yo quiero enfocarme. I like to focus on the people, you know, that listen to us and hear us or watch
Uh-huh.
us or whatever, and find what they're seeking.
Okay. Well, maybe we
It's
can ask
because
them in the comments. Also, if you're listening to this, please comment right now on this video. What are you seeking? What can we talk about? What are the topics? Or just what are the questions, I guess, right? Or what are the answers?
it's like I said, if you go to a lake where there's nothing but certain type of fishes, you're not expecting to fish a different type, just the fishes that there are on that lake, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
It's the same. We're not here for everybody. We're here for whoever is seeking what we're given. We're giving this out of grace and out of love. And we're giving this out of our own experiences and out of our own knowledge that we gain. You know, we're not just making things up. This is not about
Yeah,
us. It's about our purpose, our call, our vision.
yeah,
You know, you can name it whatever.
yeah.
It's not the
No,
name of
I wouldn't be doing this if I thought it was. I do think it's fun, and that I'm blessed because I have fun whatever I'm doing, and I think that this is important, and I think that your voice and my voice and the combination of our voices is important. Yeah,
I
and
asked, I told Stephanie that I was going to ask you that maybe sooner we can have her with us here. You
yeah,
know,
that'd be
because
great.
people, because she's wise, and people need to hear to a 30-year-old girl to me because I'm my daughter
Mhm.
that is wise, that she can give an advice, a wise advice. You know, not perfect, not the only thing, but she's wise. She can
But
share.
that's none of us. None of us are perfect, and none of us can do the
Yeah,
whole thing.
it's not about perfection. It's about it's about thoughts, feelings, and experience. It's about all that together out of the cage.
Yeah. And so I would say that uh, out of our listeners, I think telling stories of how these agreements, how we became aware of them, and how we went to the cross, right? Like I think when you were telling your story, we were using language of shifts and that there's shifts in lives, and I like that. And I do think the language of death, I like that as well. Like, what are the different deaths that you had? Because those led to the rebirths. And what was that experience? A lot of the messages that we get in culture are very anti death. And so most people spend their life trying to avoid endings and deaths. I talk a lot about that actually, like how we create drama for things to end when they should just end.
Well, again, it depends. It depends. What do we mean by death? You know, like if we're talking about physical, you know, like our last, you know, breath, we're here, we're not here anymore. I mean, I see you right now. I don't see you anymore. Or are we talking about, you know, what is it called? In a metaphora, how do you say metaphora?
I think yeah, like
When
the
we're there,
metaphor that we're using, the death of
yeah.
agreements. You know,
Then
you became aware of agreements and you changed them. You had to experience death. That comes from many ends.
yeah, it's just again, life is made out of new beginnings.
Yeah.
See, everything renew. Some things last a little longer, but everything is renewing all the time. Our bodies renew, you know, our skin renew, everything. See, life is about new beginnings all the time.
Mm-hmm.
One of the prophecies in Isaiah says that I'll do something new. And that's not just to read one time and that's it. It's to be read or read all the time. Like everything changes. I was talking this last weekend about the uncertainty of life, but not to scare people, but to believe that um, above all uncertainty, we can be certain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's not trying to avoid uncertainty. It's about being certain that we live in uncertainty, but that doesn't mean we're scared.
There's the phrase, the only constant is change,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but
Oh,
again, even with changes, sometimes we don't realize and we don't know what that means. Like I can ask people, how many of you like changes? And everyone say, yes, I do. So when I ask them, when is the last time you make a mistake? They don't make mistakes. What did that tells me?
they've been doing the same thing.
Yeah, they don't make changes. I mean, that's us. That's how we act. I mean, we think we know, and that's our problem because we think, therefore, we think we are, or we feel, therefore. See, like I feel to tell you I love you, but I never tell you I love you. Just because I felt that I wanted to tell you, doesn't mean I told you. You know what I mean? It's just we're trapped. We're trapped in this. You know, our thoughts, our feelings, our experiences. We need to go above that. We need to feel, breathe, smell. You know what I mean?
Well, I
That
think that right now that's one of the things people are struggling with, though, as well, with COVID and social distancing, and I mean we're seeing things are opening up, but I think people are struggling with feeling because people are having to spend so much time by themselves or with themselves, better said.
that's my passion. I love being by myself. I'm my best friend. I can get along with myself so nice.
You know
I
what?
love
That should be the name of this podcast, actually. I'm my best friend because I'm my best friend. You're your best friend.
and my
That's
mi-
why we can be friends.
and my mirror is my ally.
I'm only friends with people who are best friends with themselves. Oh man. No, but and I say that because so in human design there's these different personality types. I happen to be what is called a reflector. And if you just think about it, right, I reflect. And I used to think to myself, man, it's so weird how sometimes I'm out in public and people just want to fight me. I don't get why it is. But I finally understood it the other day. I was meditating and I was like, it's because if you hate yourself and if I walk by you and I'm a giant mirror, you're going to look at yourself and you're going to think you hate me, but you don't hate me, you hate yourself. And most people, they have a decent relationship with themselves, so they see me and they're looking at themselves and they're like, that's all right. And the people who really love themselves, they see me and we love each other so much because we simply just love ourselves, really. um but I finally realized, I was like, man, you know there's a lot of people out there that really hate themselves.
It's because we like to complicate things, Isaac. You know what I
Well,
mean? It's
that's
like
just for fun.
we can call it empathy. We put names to everything, and we think we know it because we know the name.
You know
It's
what? That's don't play me right now.
huh?
I said don't play me.
You know,
No, these are my tools. You brought up Isaiah. I bring up Reflector.
you know,
Right? Those are just the same thing.
how can I help anybody is just trusting that they can feel. If they don't feel, it's gonna be hard. Because see, everything that is real is hidden. Nothing that you see is real. And I'm not philosophizing, you know what I mean? I'm just I can
I
go
agree with you.
I can go biblical if you want, you know, but again, I'm not here to I'm just here to share. It's just that
I think it's okay for you to be biblical because some of the people who listen to us, that's going to help them understand, you know? And for me, some of the people who listen from my end, when I say reflector, that's going to help them understand. And to an extent, it's that we're being a bridge, you know, because we both know that we're saying to an extent the same thing. And that's why I said, don't blame me. And you need to say it, right? You need to say it the way you're going to say it. That's important.
yeah, no. I say it the way I said it. It's just we need to taste it. You know what I mean? We need to taste it. We if we don't taste it, how can we know? So in it, the way I see it and the way I deal with it is knowing that I can be right, but that doesn't make me right.
Mhm.
Or I can be wrong, but that doesn't make me wrong. I can feel
Yeah,
bad, but that doesn't make me bad. I
yeah.
can feel good, but that doesn't make me good. I
Mhm.
can experience. See, like I've been reading about uh, FOMO, FOMO,
Yeah.
and then JOMO. You know,
Yomo or YOLO?
no, FOMO is the fear of missing out,
Uh-huh.
and JOMO is the joy of missing out.
Oh, Jomo.
Yes.
I hadn't heard Jomo.
Well, the JOMO is the answer to the FOMO. You know,
I love
everything.
that. That's the yin to the yang.
I cannot blame others. That's the thing. I cannot blame others because at the end of the day, there's a time when even you're 7 or 8 or maybe younger, and one of the kings in the Bible, Josias, he was only 8 years old, and that was the best king that the people of Israel had.
Hmm.
Even though his grandfather was the worst, Ezekias.
Yeah.
So it's not about the age; it's about linking and all that stuff that we're talking about. But it's
Yeah.
also about sentirlo, o sea, no sentirlo, pero vivirlo. O sea,
Yeah.
se dice sentir, pero no es sentir como de que lo siento, sino sentir that es como cuando tú hueles una rosa, like you smell a rose. You might not know exactly what color it is, but it smells good.
Hmm.
Or you can touch it and you feel it, and it feels so good. And you know, la gente podemos culpar a todo mundo que no nos enseñaron. A mí tampoco no me enseñaron.
Hmm.
Yo, aunque tuve mis dos padres, y yo les agradezco, mi mamá murió, no, murió hace muchos años cuando nació mi hija, la del medio, pero con mi papá tuve más tiempo de hablar con él y con él hablé en varias ocasiones acerca de cuáles habían sido sus más grandes retos, contra qué es contra lo que él había luchado más. y para darme cuenta de que muchas de sus luchas que él tuvo son las mismas que yo tengo y son las mismas que tú tienes y las mismas que Esteban tiene y las mismas que Stephanie tienen. Ahora, la cosa de que ustedes ya no tienen solamente las mías, sino que ahora también tienen las que tuvo su mamá. Porque el hecho de que el género sea masculino o femenino, o sea cualquier género, la influencia, tanto genética como de crianza, ahí está. ¿Sí? Pero podemos meternos en un montón de cosas. Al final del día, lo importante de todo esto es que la gente necesitamos sentir, pero no sentir como un sentimiento, sino de sentir la vida. Feel that you are alive. And then be grateful, be happy, enjoy it. Even though we're not going through good times according to our surrenders, to our circumstances and situations, we can still have joy. It's because we are alive.
I think it's so hard for people to get to that place. And for one of the
I'm sorry, all right, laugh because it is hard.
Yeah, because you have to be fully present, right? To be like in kind of in this in constant awe that you're alive, and then having a perspective rooted in that. There are many barriers, right? And I think when it comes to feeling, like you're saying, like you said, nobody taught you. Maybe nobody taught me, but actually people have taught me, so I'm grateful. And I think the first part is learning how to feel, because when you don't feel when you're supposed to, then you create a block. And that block lives mentally, it lives in you physically, and then you become confused because you feel in a way that's out of alignment with the present moment, but it's because you have a block and you need to feel it so you can release it. And many people have processes, blah, 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 right? And I just want to name that, I guess.
Probably what I can just add to that, and before I add, I will subtract, is like you say, fully present. And I say, maybe not necessarily fully present, just be present. Because sometimes we concentrate too much on want to be fully present that we end up missing the present. So let's just not say fully present, but just be present. Even if you're not fully present, still be distracted or whatever, but be present. This moment is not an hour ago or an hour later. This moment is just right now. It's not what happened a while ago or what can happen tomorrow. This is what it is. So enjoy it. Whether it's good or bad, enjoy it. Because this moment, it's the only one we have. And again, and for me, to help me, I will not say fully, because our minds, they don't understand. You know, you say fully and we get confused. It's like some people say, it's because I cannot get full. Don't worry about it. You don't have to get full. Just be present. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I can add to that. That's because, again, we're all different, and everyone is like, for me, I like to think that nothing's hard. I like to think that everything's easy. And I know it's not true. And I know there's a lot of things are hard and a few things are only easy. But I like to think that because my mind, if I say something's hard, automatically I will just block myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and I think it's good that you say that. And you know, I recognize that from my privileged position, I've had training and in all these different arenas per se. And
not everyone is you. That's what I told you earlier.
So that's where, yeah, because for me, I think fully, and I think something specific that comes with my training, right? And I think if you're gonna practice fully. Why would you practice non-fully? And I have lots of examples for how I manifest that in my life. And not everybody's like that. A lot of people don't like to do things fully.
It's not
You're right.
about liking. It's about,
Or people, that's not their MO. That's not their modus operandi.
let's say someone has only one leg, and you want to make him run. He's not going to be able to run. Someone has only one eye, and you want him to. He can't. You know, eh, with gratitude should come mercy too. You know what I mean? And we should be more uh, like we say, empathy. And I know you're working and all that, and you're doing great, and you're doing this because you want to share this, and all I'm doing is being with you, walking with you on this. This is you. This is for you. And
Well,
if I say
this is
something,
for
I don't need to
us,
say it to
you
chime you
know.
off or to take, that's not the point.
No, I didn't take it that way because I say that because I believe in things being accessible, and I also am aware that in my position in life, because of many very different variables, you know, it's like with meditation. I talk to people about meditation and I go, if you're going to meditate, well, you might as well sit up straight. You might as well try to sit on the ground. You might as well try to meditate fully, right? And sometimes people, that's not how they are. And so then they don't meditate. When I'm like, it would be better if you just meditated then, however you want to meditate, because meditation is good for you, you know? And so the same way that you're saying, be present,
Yeah,
right? And whatever that means. If you're someone who likes to
yeah,
be
whatever
fully,
that
then
means to
be
that
fully.
person at the
If
moment.
you don't want to be fully,
Yeah,
don't be
whatever
fully.
it means to that person at the moment. This Sunday, someone came to church, and then he say he hasn't gone to church for a year. So I say, you know what, just come. I'm gonna be honest. If you like cumbias and we dance salsa, you're not gonna like it. If you like rock and we sing country, not singing, but it's just a metaphor. You're not gonna like it, and that's fine. I'm sure there's another church where they do country or whatever you like.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we all have to agree and understand. You know, we're all different. That doesn't mean we cannot be linked,
Yeah.
and we
Oh
can
yeah.
enjoy our position, and we do.
And
You
I
know,
think if anything, that's what we show here. Like I think that's going to be our biggest gift to the world, is going to be showing people what it's like to be linked. Because on you don't find this. There's nowhere out there being like, hey, let's be linked, even though we agree to disagree. Let's, in terms of the things that people are listening to, people are looking at. Most of the thing is, as soon as somebody's different, you just start talking shit about them. And that's not what I believe in. I know that's not what you believe in.
the thing is, again, no one likes to be the third wheel, but we all are the third wheel sometimes. It's like me right now. I was just gonna excuse myself because I laugh, and sometimes when I laugh, it's because I'm nervous. I get nervous and I laugh. It's me.
Carlos laughter.
That's
That's a
all.
lot of
It's
people.
not that I'm laughing to anybody or to myself or to Isaac. It's just me. I'm nervous. I get nervous and I laugh.
Oh, you know what? I tell people, do you know what my name means? And then I go, if you don't, you're going to learn. And you might get annoyed because laughter doesn't always come at the right time. But when your name is Isaac, it's coming.
I know it's like my name. My name is such a great name, but it's after. Esteban means crowning. But in order for me to get crowned, I need to get stoned first. Not stoned of being stoned, but to get.
That's like we should be doing these in person. We need to get you stoned. Oh my gosh, that's
So,
funny.
anyways, that's why I think, I don't know if I told you about having, your brother named Esteban. I said, I think I put a big una lápida grande en su espalda. I mean, it's a strong name.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Well, I would be super open to having Stephanie be on the next one if she's interested in being a part of this 110%. And then maybe even at some point, even though I know um, it would go over their head, but maybe, Ezekiel or something on here just to continue to link the generations.
I and even again, we can invite, like whoever's listening, if they want to share or if they want to participate, they can contact you and they can participate. This is not about you or me or me or you. It's about sharing our experiences, our knowledge, and that's all. It's not about us. It's about what we believe can help others.
And that's rooted in staying linked, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I mean, I
Yeah.
have friends that I don't see them or talk to them very often, but I always call them, maybe once a year, maybe every 6 months, sometimes every week, and that we stay linked,
Yeah.
you know. And some people older than me that when I say older, I don't mean older like in age, but they are older in age, but they're also wise, so they can give me an advice when I feel like, yes, I don't know what to do or I'm in trouble. I always
Mhm.
go find them and ask them and tell them,
Yeah.
and they tell me, and I listen and everything goes fine.
Yeah.
That's
So if you need any advice, um, contact us. You can contact me, and we'll bring it on. We'll bring it the subject on here. If you have a question for us, we'd love to see what are some of the similarities and differences between us too, in terms of the wisdom that we would have to share for any people in need. Actually, I highly encourage it. I'm gonna tweet it out. Esteban, you should also tweet it out. If you need any advice, come to us. We want to
okay.
bring it out here while we stay linked,
That,
and maybe you'll get some wisdom
that,
from Stephanie, from guests,
yeah, because this is not about someone. It's about everyone.
all of us. Let's do it.
And then also too, it's not about our color and about our culture, not even about our country. It's about the world. It's about everyone, no matter what color, what nationality, or status, social, whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, and it's not exclusion. It's not exclusionary in that way. And
No,
whenever I bring it up, it's only to acknowledge. It's not to exclude. It's just to acknowledge.
no, I understand. I just,
I'm saying that for the viewers though,
uh,
because I know you understand because we talk a lot.
hey, what can I say? You know, I say God. God has been good with me. So if he has been good with me, he has been good with you and with your mom and with your brother and sister. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not embarrassed. I can say it out loud. God has been good. You know,
Yeah.
me, my life. So, but it's not about me.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's not.
sometimes
That's the
it is, and
balance.
sometimes, or like when I share something, I share it. But
Yeah. And like episode 1, that was a lot about you, and I think it's important. It's really important for me, and so um, that's the most important thing.
Anyways,
All right. So we'll see you all on the next one. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Link, an intergenerational conversation today on, what would you say today's topic was?
what can I say? Let me think.
Death.
Why help me?
Death,
Okay, you can say death. How can I say that
but
different?
life.
I can
Life.
say, I can say no. I don't need to say life, but I can say a new beginning.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Every end of something is a new beginning of something else.
So there
Sometimes
you
it's hard to
go.
let go, but it's nothing we can do. You have to let go.
Yeah, they let go like at the end of a podcast episode. Linked, an intergenerational conversation on new beginnings. Thank you, Esteban. We're gonna have a guest on the next one. You already know what it is. We're bringing in. We need to bring that divine feminine energy and definitely elevate the voice of women. And I just want to thank you, Pops, for where were you? You're over here for um, bringing that here. It's so important.
Right on.
All right, right on, right on. Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.